Welcome, fight fans,
to the Fighters Boys Kickass podcast. Right here, where we're kicking everybody's ass
and letting Don King count them later.
Right here at the Fighters Voice, we're more than just voice. We're voiceography at its finest.
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Voice
Kickass podcast.
Your Fight Talk authority.
Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast anywhere. With your kick-ass host, Mr. Don't Hit Me, Richard Ortiz. And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole Escovedo.
How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is Rich Ortiz with the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass podcast. This is the part of the show where we're kicking everybody's ass. I got on the mic with me, Brandon Bam Bam Rios. We're here in Riverside, California. We're making it happen. No holds bar. We got the opportunity of watching the legend spar, man. When you walk through those doors, everybody turns around because they acknowledge you. My mic's a little loud, my man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing really good. Just here chilling, you know. Just getting back into it. Today was my first day sparring, so, you know. And sparring Josecito Lopez fought. It was a mission.
No, I watched you, man, and your conditioning was superb. You look real good, man.
Yeah, you know, that's what happens when you love boxing. I love the sport, and even if I'm out of shape, I'll still come and spar.
No, you look real good as far as ring generalship and your lateral movement. It was still there. Your head movement was still there. You saw every punch coming. You were shortening off the ring, cutting the ring off. I mean, your IQ was still there, my man.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I got to get ready, you know what I mean? They're talking about a fight for me in February, so I got to get ready for that.
You're getting ready for that, so I'm going to ask you this, man. So come February, whose ass are you going to kick, man?
No name has been thrown at me yet. I know they're working on it, so we don't know where and when and with who, so we just ready. We're just ready, you know what I mean? I'm just staying ready, so I have to get ready.
Yeah, you know, you're a veteran of the sport. I mean, you faced the who's who in boxing. You traveled all over the world, man. And Brandon Rios is still doing it, man. And it's still brand new to you, man. You continue to learn even at this point of your career.
Yeah, definitely. When you love something, you love to do, you know what I mean? It's always a great experience to learn, you know what I mean? And you learn from the youngsters that's coming up nowadays, so you want to figure out how they fighting now compared to the people from the older days. Yeah. And so, you know, it's always a learning experience for myself. And not that, but I have Robert Garcia, you know, he's always a great teacher, and he's always learning more and more.
You know, he continues to teach you, and you continue to learn, and you continue to change and readjust those adjustments that you need to make as today's athletes readjust themselves. Because from the old school days, from Muhammad Ali, running laps in his Stacy Lions or his boots, compared to now the technology that we have today, man. But you're able to make that transition, man.
Exactly. You know, people consider myself, and I consider myself, an old school fighter. I like to go balls to the wall and just duke it out. So I consider myself an old school fighter. But yes, nowadays you got to learn. You got to keep up with these guys because everything's technology now, and everything's to a peak, the conditioning wise, the strength, the vitamins, all that stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy out there.
It is crazy, man, but you seem to have tackled that aspect. You seem to have conquered that aspect because you always show up fight ready, man. You always show up on weight, on task, and ready to go. One thing nobody can ever take from you is that you never showed up and brought your corazon, your huevos, your balls, and left everything inside the ring.
Yeah, see, that's the difference between nowadays, you know. Yes, everybody has their vitamins and all that stuff that's going to help them produce. But, you know, at the end of the day, what Robert's dad has told me, what makes a great fighter and what's always been a good fighter is what you have in there, your heart and your balls. If you have a heart and balls, you have it. So that's what he always told me for the first day I started. I remember.
Hey, man, our Fighters Voice Knockout Radio Show was here earlier with Robert Garcia. We're going to bring him back on later on. You're now on the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass podcast. And this podcast has corazon and huevos también, man. I mean, we bring it, man. We're here on location, knocking out the competition.
Yes, that's what you guys got to do. You know what I mean? To grow, you got to go to the places to grow. You can't expect them to come to you and grow like that. You got to go and find it out. So, you know, like me, I got to go out there and to grow, I got to spar these young cats to make myself better. And taking them, to do my technique is little spike it up a little better. Yeah, that's what we got to do.
You know, I mean, you got the who's who that is fighting in here, the champions that are coming in here, and you get to see them working out. Out of all the Jose Ramirez's, the Mikey Garcias, the Ortizes, and Josito Lopez, where do you see a little bit of Bam Bam Rios in any of them?
There's only one Bam Bam, I think. Everybody has himself in them. You know what I mean? There's only one of me, and that's me. And there's only one of Jose, that's Jose. And there's only the same as Ramirez and Virgil. There's only one of them, so that's them. I can't say that I consider myself one of them, and they consider themselves one of me. So, you know, at the end of the day, they're themselves.
That's a safe and respectful answer. I'm talking about the wits that's inside that zone, because when balls hit the wall, you're in that telephone booth, you're swapping punches,
well,
and you've been compared to Roberto Duran at times on the way you just let him go inside.
Well, I can say Josecito Lopez because he comes to fight, and he's an old school Rocky style. So he comes to fight and he give it out. So I can say Josecito Lopez, he brings it all the time, 100%. He comes, even though he gets dropped, he gets back up, he comes and he duke it out. So that's why I respect and admire Josecito Lopez.
I remember Lampley from HBO. He made the comparison of your will and your tenacity of the late Arturo Gatti. I mean, when you hear a statement like that, people still recognize you, they respect you, and these youngsters, like I said, as soon as you walk through that door, they were rubbernecking and turning around.
Brother needs some fucking water.
There it is right there. That's why we keep it real right there.
Brother needs some water.
The Hall of Famer right there. Oh, shit. Talking about huevos, right?
Talking about huevos, this motherfucker.
Talking about huevos,
He
right?
loves it though, man. He loves it. Like, Robert's my brother from another mother. You know what I mean? Since I came here in 2004, Robert opened his house to me. He gave me his a room. So I love Robert to death. You know what I mean? He not only that we have a great relationship in boxing, we have a great relationship outside of boxing. He was my best man at my wedding.
Oh wow!
He became my Nino. You know, he baptized me. So you know,
then that's bigger than boxing. This is longevity. This is life. This is familia.
Yeah, to me, I don't have no family here in California, and Robert Garcia is all my family, and that's what I like about Robert. I respect him 100%. Even though he forgets where he come from, you know, he's San Bernardino now. Shit. He forgot about Oxnard. I came in, he forgot who I was. So, you know, at the end of the day, but fuck him. That's what it is.
Okay, well, yeah, he's in Riverside now. I remember I did an interview with him a while back, maybe about a year and a half ago, and I happened to mention Oxnard, and he corrected me and said, no, Riverside. But I remember originally he had two gyms. One was in Oxnard, correct?
Correct. He had a gym in Oxnard, but it's like he have a gym in San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, exactly.
But he considers himself Riverside. Okay. He's not from Oxnard no more. He's not from the hood like he used to be.
Well, I seen you walking in and representing Kansas City, baby.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm from Kansas City. That's why I'm always from there. Even when I'm in Oxnard, they know I'm from Kansas City. But I still represent Oxnard too because that's where I grew up with boxing.
I remember a writer who didn't really know too well, not going to mention his name. He once made the statement because of you and Ortiz, I didn't know they had Mexicanos in Kansas City.
They have a lot of them. Where I'm from is pretty, it goes Mexicano, then it goes white, then it goes Chinese, then it goes black. But
all in that order according to Bam Bam Rios, right?
It is true though. There's a lot more Mexicans than white, and there's white, a lot more white than black, and a lot more black and Asian, stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
It is crazy. You know, what do you have to say to all the young fighters that watch you, and they're early in their career, and they want to be a world champion? What do you have to say? What advice do you have to give them?
You know what? The way I say and the way I think, never give up on your dreams. Dreams come true. When you want it, you got to go out there and get it. You got to go out there and chase it. Chase the dream. Don't let the dream chase you. Because if you let it wait to sit there and wait to chase you, you're never going to go nowhere. I remember my dad told me when I was 8 years old, and I promised my dad when I was like 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old, I told my dad. When I started boxing, that's when I first started boxing.
8 years old.
I fell in love with it. And I told my dad, one day, I forgot what fight we were seeing, a Chavez fight, Julio Chavez Sr. And I was like, Dad, one day you're going to see me on TV like that. And you're going to be there with me winning my world title. And I never forgot that. I never forget that. And every day I train. I made it all the way to the 2004 Olympic box off and all this stuff. And that's how I met Robert. And then he brought me over here. And then when I first fought for my world title, I brought my dad with me. And he was right there in the corner. And after I won it, I told Dad, I told you, when I win my first world title, you're gonna be there with me, and you're right here with me. And ever since then, that's why I fell in love with it. So the young kids today, we have a dream, stick to it. Stick to your dream. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do it, because you can always do it. So stick to your dream and it'll come true. It'll come true.
Hey, you heard it from the man himself right there. How do you follow up with that? We're talking about the former champion in the future, once again, that's going to be world champion, Mr. Bam Bam Rios, here in Riverside, California, Robert Garcia's gym. It's a wrap here on the Fighter's Voice Kickass podcast. That's where we're kicking everybody's ass and knocking out the competition. It's a wrap. 2 thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kickass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.